We are live. We have returned. Welcome back to the Average Homies of Sigmar podcast, coming to you live on YouTube and possibly on Spotify afterwards. My name is Steve, the Average Hellsmith. With us, we have
Ed, the Average Gaz.
Here we go.
I'm Matt, the
That's
Average
right.
Alfarius.
Never really
there's
sure
no-
which way to go on those ones.
It's
There's
been
no
so
rest.
long, it's like, okay.
There's no rest. 2 weeks of rest doesn't exist.
No.
No. But yes, as mentioned, we've been off for 2 weeks, so now we're back. Some of us had some work commitments, i.e., me, outside the country, and I didn't really feel like podcasting on a super bunch of jet lag. So that's why I had 2 weeks off. And anything you guys want to add on that?
Yeah, but it's not entirely your fault. I mean, I know me personally, I am not technologically adept. So when the opportunity was given for Ed and I to continue, I was like, I don't know how to do it, and I'd probably just break stuff. So yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm glad to know I have some uses.
More than one, I'm sure.
Alrighty. Okay. So yeah, we took 2 weeks off. We plan to not take 2 weeks off in the future, but life finds a way sometimes, and there'll be weeks here and there where we won't be every week, but we will do our best. So in that time, we've probably done some stuff. So what have you done in the world of AOS in the last couple weeks? I know Matt is probably the one that does more than any of us. So Matt, what have you done in the last couple weeks?
So I played a TTS game against Jordan Brown. He was using Scave, and I was using a Slaves to Darkness, like Dark Oath list. It was a super tight game, actually. And he had in the last turn, he didn't need to, but he put up a nice 20-point turn, which sort of put the game out of reach for me. But I was able to get it close. I think he won by, I think it was 3 to 7 points, somewhere in that neighborhood. Pardon me. So it was a really good game. Really good dude. Like, I've never played against him. I had a really, really good game. And then I played a game in person against the G, and we were doing some practicing for Torchlight. And then on the Saturday that just passed, played in a 36-person 3-round RTT. It was enormous. And Torchlight is a gorgeous store. They have 100 tables, not over-exaggerating. It's literally 100 tables. And they had 3 tournaments going at the same time. I got to play against the new LRL twice, actually. And I have thoughts on that.
All positive, I'm sure.
So I went 2-1, got 7th place, and won Best Sportsman. And I was very happy with that result.
That is the true homie accomplishment. Best sport is what we aim for.
Yes.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think that Jordan Brown guy is local to me. I see him pop up in a lot of the chats in Alberta.
I'm pretty sure that he said that he was close, within 2 hours or so, up a certain highway.
Yeah, that's right. Highway 14. We all love it. It's the easiest drive ever. Wainwright to Edmonton. Do it all the time. I'm going to do it every weekend soon. Ed, what'd you get up to for hobby in the last week?
I was actually supposed to attend the Torchlight RTT with Matt. Unfortunately, family obligations got in the way, and I was unable to attend. So my contributions in the last little bit have just been sitting here painting and enjoying watching older TV shows while painting.
Nice.
Ooh, like what?
Currently, I am reworking my way through Stargate SG-1.
I cannot say I'm familiar with it. It's one of the few nerd ones I've not really watched, but interesting indeed. And yeah, life does get in the way sometimes. And as you said, things come before hobby, and I feel that as well. 3 kids, lots of pets. We all know what happens. Yeah, for me, I didn't go to any RTTs. I'll tell you that much. The last thing I've been to was the start of February with the Old Man Winter one. I have done a bit of hobbying. We'll see one of the pictures later. And I'm planning and getting ready for a GT this weekend in Lethbridge, the Battle for the Bridge, which is going to be a 21-person GT. A little lower the attendance than the Grudge Fest one, but that's also because there's a bunch of stuff going on. I think March breaks and there's other tournaments in the areas, so people are calling their shots and where they're going to go. But I'm looking forward to it. Myself and my wife are going to take the weekend away. She's going to read a bunch of books, add to her count, as everyone here knows that the count is high already this year. And yeah, maybe try out a new army. We'll see. And
You
anything
did do something else really exciting and really awesome. You got to visit a certain place while you were away
that's
for
true.
work.
That's true. Yeah. Okay. So yes,
If you're allowed to talk about that.
Oh, it's fine. There's nothing I saw there that I can't talk about. I did do something pretty cool. When I was in the UK for work, and I thought to myself, hey, I like watching Vanguard Tactics. It's one of the great, we're talking about Homie Spirit. That's one of the OGs of the Homie Spirit in the hobby, Stephen Box. So I had worked with Stephen Box previously. He was actually a fitness coach. I used him for fitness coaching while I was overseas doing some workouts, and gave him a text that, hey, I'm in the local area. Do you mind if I stop by, see how Vanguard Tactics is set up, take a little tour? And he was more than happy to have me over. I stopped by. It's actually in quite a little small town in the countryside of England, southern England. And it was quite the setup, I'll tell you. Like we talked about a good store or a store concept. His store concept is that he has tables with multiple types of different games. So he has like Infinity there. He's got Marvel. He's got 40K as well. Bunch of armies, bunch of games. And then the philosophy being about the gaming center that if you want a game, you're going to get a game. So you call ahead, obviously kind of reserve, like I'm going to come in Thursday. I think it's Thursday, Friday. They're open. I'm not sure the exact days, but they're open a couple days a week. For the rest, they're, filming and doing other things for the business. And then you are matched into someone. So it ensures you get a game. And then if not matched into someone, one of the staff will play you. So you're definitely not wasting your time. And as well, some of the games, I think more towards the Marvel Infinity and kind of the more of the bespoke games, they have armies in store. So you can actually request to come play a game, and you don't need the army. They'll give you the army to play with, and they'll teach you. Great That's dude. Really it was cool. It was super cool. Super cool to see his setup. I remember following him on Facebook in like 2019, 2020 around COVID timeframe when he started putting out his videos, and to see where he's gone from having Facebook coaching and Facebook videos to what is essentially a renovated industrial outlet. He's in an industrial area, but he's within a business outlet where he's got 3 or 4 employees. They seem to be working, part-time. He's got video editing, painter that he's hired, people to help him co-present on live battle reports. Just great stuff. Spectacular guy. Great visit. They took all they were working. They were filming a live battle report. They let me sit in and watch the mechanics of how the battle report was filmed and talk to me about some of the stuff that goes on with that. And highly recommend Vanguard Tactics if you haven't seen them, mostly because they're 40K, not AOS related. Still highly recommend it. And I'm sure as 11th edition may or may not come in the future, this year sometime, that they'll have other content when it does eventually come out, either this year or next. But yeah, it was super cool.
That's awesome.
So that's what I've done.
I did have one other really cool thing that happened. About 3 months ago on the AOS Canada Discord, they were, I think they do it every year, where they kind of ask for individual support and you can sponsor the team. So, you sponsor $20 and you get Team Canada dice. So I had done it, and at the tournament, Mr. Sabetti had the dice with him, so I was able to get my dice, and these are the coolest dice ever. That's the 6s that say sorry. So I'm real happy. I can't wait to play with them It'll be great. I might actually end up getting 10 more because I like them so much.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I also have sponsored the team, but I think I'm going to have to wait till the GW Open to get my
to get your team. Yeah.
I'm actually sure if there's anyone from Alberta on the team. I come think of it.
I don't know.
I don't know either. Cool. Well, we've had an eventful couple of weeks. Some of it not AOS related, some of it AOS related. But I think we can transition to our discussion topic for today. And today we're going to talk about the unwinnable game and things you do to prepare yourself for that. So as a bit of an intro to this topic, I'll just kind of throw out there that I recently went on the Moss Dog podcast, essentially YouTube channel, talks about destruction. He asked me about Hellsmiths and what are the good matchups and bad, and how's the army play, and he's trying to figure out how he could tell his viewers who are destruction players play against Hellsmiths. And one of the interactions I had on that podcast was interesting was he would say he would often default to this matchup is an auto lose and this matchup is an auto win. And I would say, yeah, but however, asterisks to me, I'm kind of like Goonies never say die kind of guy. Like, yes, I understand that like it's going to be an uphill crawl against some matchups and the odds are not in your favor, but I don't view anything as unwinnable, but more difficult on that. So it was an interesting conversation, and it kind of drives into the topic we're going to discuss today, is that there is some opinions or views in the hobby where people rock up to a table and they might get in their own headspace and say, oh, this is unwinnable. What do I do? So what are our thoughts on this topic?
So I have seen it at a big tournament where an individual brought an army specifically skewed to kill Gargants because Michael Sabetti at that time was on Sons of Behemoth, and he's winning every single tournament in like 25-minute games type thing. Like he's trouncing. So here's another Team Canada player, Devin Cortman, brought this just an obscene number of the True Blades, the Soul Blight Gravelord True Blades that are basically just like anti-monster and 4-dry, and they get paired up in the final round. And Sabetti looked at him and says, I can't win this game, but we're going to play the first turn just to see how many points I might be able to get. And up until that point, I would look at certain matchups. There's a certain army that I have PTSD towards playing. And anytime I get paired into playing against that particular army, in my brain, I'm already saying, I've lost this game. So let's just have some fun. And then I changed my perspective recently. This isn't like, I've always done this. This is a very recent thing where it's, when I go up, I mentally prepare myself. What is the saying? Expecting the worst, but hoping for the best. So I'm prepared to lose the game, but I want to maybe try something different that I didn't try last time, or maybe, set up a little bit differently, etc. But I'm going to play the game out. And something that I've been trying to instill in certain members of our team, because there's another member of the team plus myself, we have a tendency to concede very quickly. And it's like, because we realize, okay, I'm behind by 30 points and there's just no realm of possibility that I can get those 30 points and stop you from getting points. So it's like, well, let's just talk out the rest of the turns. And lately it's just been, I don't want to do that anymore, because there are going to be plays that we can find in that turn 4, turn 5 that we could have done in turn 1 and 2 and go, oh, wow. Okay. So I'm very much in I want to keep playing out games. I no longer want to talk out a game. And we've been starting to use clocks all the time now too, so that we have ample amount of time, and etc. So I prepare myself going into a game with the mentality of, I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to concede. I understand this is a bad matchup, but dice happen. And sometimes your opponent might not know the army as well. So just because the army is very good against me doesn't necessarily mean that the player is very good against me. And then during a game, I just try not to let the aspects of, the better battle tome get to me. We like to call it new battle tome shock, where I played against LRL twice at the Torchlight, and it was 2 different players and 2 very different levels of skill. And I beat one player and got crushed by the other. But at no time was I like, this game's over. Like, I wanted to continue playing it. And then after the game, if I get, mollywopped, I like to ask my opponent, number one, what could I have done differently? In your opinion, what could I have done differently? And number 2, how do I beat your army? And then listen to their feedback and try to apply it to the next game. But it's always like learn. So I do believe that there are unwinnable games. I think that there are certain matchups that Army A cannot beat Army B. But it doesn't mean that Army A, the player of it, can't learn to make it a closer game. Or you find weaknesses in your own army at that point too. Well, I don't have any way of dealing with this. Maybe I start to incorporate a unit that can. And that's kind of where I'm at with the unwinnable game.
And Ed, your thoughts?
I don't believe in the unwinnable game. I'm gonna Captain Kirk this. I don't believe in
Kobayashi Maru. Here we go.
I don't believe in the Kobayashi Maru. However, having said that, I am looking for something significantly different in my games. I am not looking for results. I'm looking for enjoyment. I want to make sure that not only am I having a good time, but my opponent is having a good time. The results to the game for me don't matter. Even if it's a tournament, GT, RT, it doesn't matter. Results don't matter to me. I'm here to play war dollies with kids my own age. And so I don't believe in an unwinnable game because I'm not playing to win on the score sheet. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
So, and to be fair, even with looking at the score sheet, even looking at the score sheet, I still don't believe that there is an unwinnable game because there is a certain amount of RNG involved in the game. And I don't believe that there is a hard lock. No matter what you do, you can't win because there will be strategical errors. There will be lines that you didn't think of that nobody maybe has thought of. And there's always a way to win.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense to me. I think it's like with the theme we're picking up on here that each one of us is approaching it differently. So we talk about like the first kind of talking point. How do you prepare yourself? All 3 of us come into it with different mindsets, right?
Yeah.
We're all looking for different things, or we're a product of our circumstances in different ways, whether that be practice, our view on the hobby, etc. I think for me, I'm informed more by my line of work where I'm like, I must do the thing and I cannot fail at the thing. So it's just hard for me in my mind to be like, no, I can lose. Like, even though it's like we don't want that in the real
no. Because if you lose, you don't come home.
So for me, I think when I approach it, it's more of like Ed said, I will definitely recognize that there's a bad matchup. I see something that's like if I was playing, an all monster list, and then there's a bunch of Viscargan True Blades or Monster Killers or whatever, then like going into it, it's going to be tough. But then sometimes you just got to, try different things, or I wouldn't say hope is a method, but one thing, we're kind of transitioning to like the actual gameplay of it. One thing I started to do recently is to kind of do the crazy Ivan when I think it's a bad matchup. or I just
Just Leroy Jenkins.
I just take the hard left on what the actual thing would be. So it's like, a normal play pattern for this army is this, and then I'll just do something different, like completely different, because in my mind, that makes the opponent think, what is he doing? Why isn't he playing the army the way it should be played? Is it a skill level? Is he doing something? And even in that moment of like making them think, you're making them expend energy just thinking about it, which is energy they're not putting towards crushing you with their superior
100%.
force. Yeah.
Why does this guy have a Lord of Change in his list?
Correct. People will find out soon enough.
Yep.
Why is there no spoiler? We'll see if someone's watching this. Why is there no Spawn in this list? Why is it not on the lore? That's the right one. I mean, those are all pregame choices, but like even during the game, so taking like the new disciples as each thing, right? I'd say something different would be like running up something that you wouldn't normally expose. Like the Lord of Change is going mid-board. Why? I can't mass by illusion it. If maybe I don't have the spell lore to help it out, etc. Why is it doing that? And that'll create pause. Now, don't be reckless, obviously, because sometimes, like if you're playing in a teams tournament, you want points, you want sort of results, or if you're going for a results-based finish, you want to get battle points, you want to see. But I will offer it that sometimes when I rock up at a unwinnable thing, I'll just go completely off script. And just like I view it kind of as an opportunity, right? So like when you're playing someone that's like much better than yourselves, there's two ways you can approach it in my mind. One, play your game that you want to play, that you know how to play the hardest and see how it stacks up. Or two, if you don't, not to say you don't want the feedback, but if you want to try something different because you know it's going to be difficult, then take it as an opportunity to try something difficult. Because I'd rather try something difficult in that circumstance than try it against something where I'm like, this is winnable and I can like get into it and win. Yeah, that's my thoughts about like
you pull the goal. Let's see where this goes.
Exactly.
It's interesting because in poker, there's a good saying, and it's like this particular type of move, and I think it's like a bluff. Bluffs only work against good players because the good player goes, well, these are the hands that beat me. The likelihood of that hand is there, da 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 da. And the bad player goes, but I've got an ace.
Yeah.
and so like, and I could definitely see that in the same area where it's I'm going to play my shooty army close combat to throw my opponent off. But if the opponent doesn't know that that's the way the army typically plays, they might just look at it and go, hey, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm just cool. I'll attack. Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you guys do in game when it comes to
that? Me personally, I fight at that point. I fight to keep the game close. Because a lot of tournaments that I'm participating in lately, the path to victory, it goes your win-loss and then minor victory, major victory. So it's losing or winning by more than 5 points or more. So for me, I'm trying to get it so that I'm only taking a minor loss. That's kind of my goal, is let's make this a minor loss. And it's like when I played against LRL, and it was Michael Sabetti playing it. So like there's a huge skill gap on top of the army gap. And I just kind of went, I'm just going to rack up as many points as I can before I get tabled. So I was very, very passive. And I know that's not how you beat Lumineth at this particular point. But I was very passive and just racked up points until like he tabled me on turn 4, I think it was. And, give him pause. Like I overcommitted to certain area, like certain units to kill them. And I tried to bait his Eltharion teleport. which he's a good enough player. I knew it wouldn't work, but on the same note, mistakes can be made. Yeah, so during the game, I try to keep my head in the game.
Oh, got a comment.
And focus on getting points.
Looks like Age of Canuck showed up a little late.
Damn it, I'm late. Evening all. Damn, still shoveling. I've heard. I heard Age of Canuck that it's snowing in Edmonton. It's clear. There's like clear skies. Nothing happening where I'm at, but people were complaining to me today online that Edmonton is like no visibility right now for snow.
Wow.
But if you
3 here,
we're -10, -13.
Okay,
but we were plus like previously. We got dumped on all morning. Yeah, so Age of Canuck just joined us. We're talking the unwinnable game and the mindset going into a tough matchup and how we deal with it. We already talked about kind of the mindset rocking up to the table, and now we're talking about how we approach the game at the table. All right,
I mean, for me, and again, it would be one of those, if I'm severely disadvantaged, I have the benefit of, let's try this. Let's see where this goes. Let's experiment. Let's, to a lesser extent, maybe not crazy Ivan, but definitely one of those, let's try some unorthodox strategies and see where this goes. Because I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? Like if you're already in a bad spot, you're already the underdog, like you're not expected to win. Why not swing for the fences and try something that maybe you wouldn't have had the opportunity to try before? Like, I mean, again, as long as everybody's having fun, let's go. But
Yeah, I agree. And by the way, for those who are listening, if you don't understand the reference of Crazy Ivan, you need to go watch one of the greatest movies ever created, The Hunt for October. Unwinnable. I didn't know the subject was all me. I am looking for the below average team, but always have fun. Hey, you won't be unwinnable soon. He's a Daughters of Cain player. He's gonna be loving it, I'm sure.
That'll be the new battle. Well, unless they get the OBR treatment.
I was just gonna say, unless they got the one writer who writes OBR. OBR, what was the other one? That's kind of been recently. Nurgle-ish. Honestly,
Nurgle's
like Nurgle's
good.
been
Nurgle's really good.
It's good,
like,
but it's like it's not. If you look, I'm not talking about like the power level. I'm talking about the like power plus fluff, where it's like LRL has this weirdo fluff that's super powerful. Disciples is Zeech. I would argue they rewrote everything, but it's kind of narratively Zeech. Whereas Nurgle, they're just like, make disease better.
Right. We'll take the index and just give it a little bump. Yeah. We want to put out these new models, so here you go.
Yep.
Well, buying the new models is the name of the game, right?
Well, it is. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to use the Sylvaneth book to gauge where Doc will be. Yeah, well, we'll see.
Yeah.
I have a feeling Sylvaneth's going to be real good, and then the Doc will
I'm agreeing with you.
So we talked about...
Billy.
Yes, we have a Sylvaneth player on our team. We need him to have more power in his army.
Yes.
Honestly, the highlight of that tournament for me, side note here, is talking about TGX, is that we paired Billy, our Sylvaneth player, into an excellent LRL player. Like a very good LRL player. Like a beast out here. And Billy made this guy sweat. And it came down to the final turn. And we're like, whoa, Billy's doing it. We're believing in him.
And my exact words to Billy were, can you just try to keep it close? And he did. I was like, man. Oh man.
Oh man. So we talked about before, we talked about during, but like what I think, Matt, you touched on it briefly, so you can kind of lead us into this subject. What do we do after the game, after the air quotations unwinnable game, other than if we somehow won, but like most likely we have lost the game? What do we do after the game?
But I will usually me personally, it's like I'll take a step outside, get some fresh air, and dry my tears, find a fellow geek to console me, give me a hug. Exactly. But no, seriously, it's especially if that player, like if you had a really good game, they're usually more amiable to talk about the game and potentially discuss, like questions that I ask normally is, what could I have done differently? And a lot of the time your opponent will know, oh, I think that you made a mistake at this point doing this particular thing. Maybe you shouldn't have engaged over here. And I'll take all of that information and just kind of try to replay through the game and find what they're talking about and take that, what they had said, and try to apply it to the next game that I play against that particular army. And if they're willing to, I'll ask the question of, how do I beat your army? And a lot of the times they be like, well, I mean, you know, they probably know. They're just keeping it close to their chest. The really good players will tell you exactly how to beat the army because they want the challenge, right? And so, yeah, it's just asking questions. It's like I don't try to stew over the loss. Sometimes it hurts. It's like, oh, wow, okay, well, that could have been a 3-0 tournament for me. It's now a 2-1 tournament. I'm happy. What can I do so that next time I play, I get that 3-0? Or instead of going 1-2, I go 2-1. So it's just like, it's not focusing on the loss. It's focusing on what can I learn from the loss.
Ed?
I agree with Matt. I would ask my opponent, you know, what was the TSN turning point of the game? Where could I have improved? I don't know if I would necessarily ask my opponent, how do I beat your army? But, you know, I don't think I'm at that level. I think more, where did I make glaringly obvious mistakes? Because I'm still at the level where I'm going to punt the game really early based on a glaringly obvious strategical mistake. And you know, most people I play are more than happy to say, you know, you did this here, and I was expecting that. So, and I've said it before, if you're looking for the wrong way to do it, I'm your guy.
So when you crazy Ivan, you come onto the correct play path, is what you're telling me.
I mean, sometimes she works, sometimes she doesn't. The dice giveth and the dice taketh away.
That's the way she goes, Ricky.
Way she goes. Water under the bridge.
She goes. Yeah, for me, I usually do the chat afterwards. I like to have the chat anyways. Win or loss, win or lose, I really will do the chat. You know, more often on a loss than a win, because sometimes when it's weird, they don't want to talk to you because they're, you know, you got to thread the needle if you
exactly want. Yeah,
you don't want to be like too overbearing, but if you know they're into it, then yeah, you can have a nerd conversation. But after a loss, yeah, I usually do same discussion, kind of like, but I focus it more not on how to beat the army. Like, I don't come at it from that viewpoint, to be honest. I come at it from like, where did it go wrong for me, or where, like, what did I give you as an opening that you caused you to think you would get the win? Like, where at my play line, what, because then what I'm trying to solicit from them is, what are you afraid of in my army? Or what when you look at my army, what do you not like about it that will ruin your game plan? And if I came off that line, then how did I go back on that line? Or maybe they misjudged it and like it wasn't actually that big of a deal. But getting a sense of how they view my army, honestly, I think it would be good for newer players too, because you learn your army first and then you go, you know, learn their army next. And yeah, GPs or Age of Canucks, like, I asked what my mistake straight up. Yeah, I asked, like, where did it go wrong, or what do you think? As Ed said, the TSN turning point. Age of Canuck did ask, do you all take notes or pictures to go over, learn from wrong moves, battles, etc.? I record it in the Tabletop Battles app. I haven't been taking pictures. I think this weekend I'm going to record what I put in Masked by Illusion for each game. And that'll be the extent of my recording. I'm not going to go over every single little thing. I'm going to be like, I put these 3 things in the sky and it worked, or it didn't work. I put these 3 things in the sky. And like, I think it's incremental, right? I think if you overload yourself with information, you won't have enough, like you don't know what to do with it. One thing I'll just kind of throw out there to the group that I've been playing around with is AI. So I've been using the Anthropic Claude AI, and I feed it results, and then I feed it stuff, and I ask it, like, based on the meta, what do you think is where the list deviates? What do you think the battle tactics? Where do you see in the scores? Obviously, it doesn't know everything, but it's a good search engine, because these AIs, you can use them to search up what people are running, what people are saying online, and then you can kind of draw your own conclusion. Or if you're like me and you're terrible at math, you can make it do math for you. So, for example, I had it tell me what's the difference between a Zangor and Lightning Brick without +1 attack and with +1 attack across a variety of spectrums. But that's me. I don't take like huge pictures. I just do that. And over to you guys for response on that.
I used to take pictures of deployment because I was very bad at deployment. I was never reacting to where my opponent was putting like their key pieces. It was just, I had in my brain, this is how I want to set up. And one of our community members suggested that I start taking photos of deployment, and then I can correlate that to the win or the loss. And like, it's not just but it's like a big picture from overhead, so that I can see where all of the units, all the terrain, objectives, etc. are. And I'm pretty good about like remembering the plays throughout the game. So it's, you know what? The way that I set up over here allowed me to do X. Or the way I set up over here didn't allow me to do X. I need to make sure to, like when Steven and I play TTS, we often will go back to deployment after the game is over. And it's, if I had have deployed here, would this game look differently? And I think deployment is a really important thing. And I do recommend for new players to just take 30 seconds and snap a photo. The problem in a tournament is that I always feel kind of under the pressure of the time. So I don't take time to take a photo after every round. Yeah. But it is like, for the higher end players, I know that they do take notes, and it's a very good way of getting better.
I actually think I might start taking more notes, writing actual stuff down, taking pictures of deployments. I think that might be a good idea.
A really good thing too. I was doing this for my when I eventually bring out my FAQ, is I get little index cards. And I mean, you're not going to read that; it's blurry as all hell. But like, this is what I can do in my hero phase, and I'll just have it right there until it becomes ingrained in my head. And then I've got another one for like, these are the spells that I can cast. These are the prayers that I've got. And they're the general ones. And I've got one for delusions as well. And then it's just sorry.
Yeah, keep going.
And then it's just a matter of like trying to memorize all of the war scrolls as well. That's always the tough part.
I will jump in on that topic with the useful tool. I know you've recently discovered it because you saw it at the end of my list. The Sigdex application that you can get online. So you put a list into it. I don't know if have you used the play feature yet?
I have not.
Okay. So the cards, it makes it for you. So you go hero phase, and it lists out every spell you can cast, everything you do. So I've been playing cities in an online teams tournament, and I don't know the army that well at all. I'm just kind of messing around with it, right? But cities has a lot of, like, you got to do a lot of things to make it work in different phases. And so in Sigdex, you go hero phase, and then it lists like all your spells, lists like, the Alchemite Warforger on a 3-up gives a save. So you're like, Warforger, done, close. And it has an open close. So as soon as you do it, you're like, close. And you take 1 second to go through. You're like, I've done everything I can in my hero phase. You go to movement, and it lists all your movement details. in one sheet. It's like, 14, 12, 10, whatever. And then abilities, etc. So cards are one way, but this thing's free. And I've played 5 different armies in it on TTS, just going through the play style on it. And I haven't found an error yet in terms of like stats or anything of that nature.
I'm very much if I write it down, I learn it. And that's why I write it down, is because then I've learned it. Like I can read something, but if I write it down verbatim, I learn it better than if I read it.
Yep. Easy Connect says, I'm going to have to bring 2 battery packs to use that for Hampton Open. Yes, you will, because there's going to be 8 games of Warhammer that weekend.
Oh, my God.
Oh, man. Cool. So I think that's kind of wraps up our Unwinnable Games section and kind of aids and whatnot. Unless, Ed, do you have anything to add on that? Sorry, I kind of skipped you on the aids.
No, absolutely not.
All right, let's go to the average homie of the week. So as I pull this up, you can bring us into the tournament. Tell us about it.
We're doing the Torchlight.
Correct.
Okay, so Torchlight, the event that I went to. Torchlight is in Burlington. Absolutely gorgeous facility. It's huge. They have a lot of like direct order models on their shelves. The staff is fantastic. They have like a kitchen there as well. So we were all able to order lunch, and it was like $15 for, I got a veggie wrap with a bunch of like nacho chips and a drink. It was really, really, and Jesse did a fantastic job running this event. I can't say enough good things about it, that if you are in the area and ever get to participate in a Torchlight event, they did because the numbers were so high, every person that went undefeated got like a prize. And then they did Average Joe, which to us is like an average homie, the person in the middle of the pack, best presentation, best sportsman, and then handed out 5 random prizes as well.
Oh yeah, let's go.
So it was well worth it. Terrain all painted, all beautiful, all like made sense. It wasn't, oh well, this is a 40K wall, so we'll use it for this. Anyways, great event.
Yes, and the average homie, well, not exactly average, pretty close, is someone we know.
Yes.
Matt Gustafson, Housemith of his shoot. As you can see, 1 loss, 1 win, 1 draw. Perfectly average. So
Matt Gustafson is also known as the G. So if you ever hear the reference of the G, this is the man we're talking about.
Yep.
Oh no.
I'm just gonna pull his list up here.
Oh, okay.
Yep. It's on a different screen. All right. Yeah, so he's playing Hellsmith. We're gonna go over the Hellsmith list here. List. Let's share it. And up we go. Okay. So I'll go through the list. I'll give you my first thoughts, and then you've probably played against it, so you can give me a better idea of it. So he calls it Bulls in a Hobby Shop, 1990, respectable out of 2,000 points. Housemith of a shoot. Industrial Polluters is kind of the mainline competitive pick now. That means that everything that's within 9 of a war machine that is infantry or cavalry is -1 to be hit and shooting. So you can use your Bulldums or your Deathstreakers or your Tormentors or even Uruk Tar or the Demon Smith, because they're also keyworded war machine, to give out a 9-inch aura of don't shoot my dudes that I really care about, aka the blunderbusses, and march them up the board if they're not going to be obscured. 3 drops, which is pretty typical for Hellsmiths, because you need 3 heroes most likely, unless you're running like a full-on bull send. There are 2 lores and their prayers, which are normal. Forbidden, this is kind of the go-to for Hellsmiths because of the bridge. The bridge is the secret sauce. The bridge gives you the ability to pull either a Deathstreaker out, to pull... Actually, it works. The really secret sauce of this is the bulls, because you can teleport the bulls 9 inches away, and you give them 3 demonic power points, and then suddenly it's a 6-inch charge, which is very doable with a reroll. Wrathful Cycles and Intercept and Recover. Interesting choice on Wrathful. Intercept as usual. Master the Pass is usually the other one you see a lot with Hellsmiths, but Wrathful could be interesting in terms of you're taking more, and then you're going down on points, and you're having to fight. I don't know how he's gonna. I'd be interested to hear how many times he got the second one on the underdog fighting.
It was my understanding that Wrathful was more of a double turn
Protection.
Protection. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's because it's tough when you have shooting things. When you're like,
exactly.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I got Wrathful with cities the other day because I charged a cannon into something to fight.
Jeez, nice.
It's doable. I get the double turn protection.
I do know as well that in his mind, a lot of people like to engage the army, and he says, if I'm behind on points, come turn 4, most of my stuff is already engaged.
Surprise.
So exactly, it's very easy to get Wrathful 2 when your entire army is in close combat.
Yeah, I buy that for $1. Bull Centaurs reinforced. Yes. Bull Centaurs by themselves. I'm beginning to see this more often in lists. Having an independent operator of 3 just to kind of go be obscured and then be a real problem when they punch out of trees and touch something they shouldn't be touching. Razors with blunderbusses. I live and die by this unit in most of my games. The covering fire potential of this thing is insane.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I think it took down a Terrorgeist, you said, in this tournament?
It took down a Terrorgeist and Usheron in covering fire.
Yep. The way I've seen it played and the way I play it is essentially the blunderbusses are like 4 inches behind something big, either a cohort screen, an Uruk Tar, or whatever. And then they're just covering fire, whatever is on the way in. And if they have 3 demonic power points, it's 4s and 2s with Ren 3, damage 2, which you're going to look at maybe half of your shots going through if you're rolling pretty hot. And that is with a full unit, 11, 22, you're 11 damage. And if you spike, you can get into 16 damage on covering fire, which is insane. So if something has a couple of wounds on it already, like it's going to be problematic.
I did just check, and he scored Wrathful 1 all 3 games, and that was it. And then intercept and recover, there was only 1 game that he didn't get all 3 of his intercepts.
Yeah, it's fairly normal for them to take intercept because, like you say, people want to engage, and if you come and engage the army, you will get shot.
Yes.
Or you will get charged. That's very good to know, though. I'd be interested to see if he runs Master of the Pass next, because Master is I found it to be more reliable to get number 2, because you want to be in the midboard anyways.
Right.
Second Regiment, Ashen Elder. This is the priest. He has an eye for weakness, 18-inch aura, hero phase, pointed something, give +1 to wound in combat. That's for bulls. You give that to the bulls when they go in charge, so they're 3s and 2s. Infernal Cohort with Hashtite Spears reinforced, and Infernal Cohort with Hashtite Spears. These are the ones that are on objectives. You roll a dice on the 3 up. They give an extra PowerPoint out, so they're PowerPoint generating. These are, I assume, what he plays primary with. He puts 1 brick of Infernal Cohort on an objective early, so to get that early Wrathful, and he gives them a 5-up ward and says go.
Yep.
Regiment 2, Demon Smith with the Scroll of Petrification, which I'm very interested. He must be giving it to the rocket battery or the bombard if they get engaged.
It's for he keeps one of the cohort units to babysit the weapon batteries. And then if somebody charges in, he gives them the petrification to buy a round and then hits that unit with all the shooting that's in the area.
Yep. Okay, so that's interesting. Death Shrieker rocket battery and Tormentor bombard. So this is to me, this is the minimum package you want as a Hellspit player. It can go up or down on the rocket batteries. You probably only want 1 bombard. The bombard turns off commands on 3-up. Death Shrieker rocket battery is anti-war machine, anti-monster. Can go 5 flat damage. Breath of Contempt gives it a +1 to hit. But if it rolls 1s, then it takes damage. But because it's only rolling 3 dice, it's it takes a mortal wound. Maybe.
Right.
Yeah. And if the Ashen Elder is within its aura, it won't take the mortal wound because it'll ignore the first point of damage. So fairly good list. I'm not going to say it's pretty standard because there are some random things like babysitting the spears with the battery, which is novel. But overall, it's a pretty good list. And let's take a look at what he played against. right, let's see here.
I can tell you if you want.
I'm gonna pull it up while we share it here, and you can talk. Oh my goodness, yeah, talk to me, Goose, while we look at this.
Okay. So the first round he played against Slaves of Darkness, which was a Be'lakor, and then some Chosen, but Jackson also uses 2 units of Dark Oath with a Chieftain for some backfield objective grabbing. He just sacrifices the Dark Oath. That one was a super tight game. I think it was a 3-point difference, and it came down to a priority roll on the last turn. So it was really, really close. Second game was against Monster Mash Feck, and Dylan is an accomplished Feck player, but just hadn't played against Helmsmiths enough to know what to do. And the G was able to just shoot down basically everything. I think he had said by the end of turn 3, he had his Ghoul King on Terrorgeist left, because everything's just getting shot off the board. And he's like, he said, every opportunity I could for covering fire, I took. It didn't matter what I was shooting with. I was covering fire with everything. But his MVP were those blunderbusses. He's like, they killed two Terrorgeists, and Ushron only had 4 wounds when he was a target for covering fire. But it was just the fact that it was like he 100 to 0'd a Terrorgeist on turn 1, and Dylan, the G said that Dylan just got scared and didn't know what to do, and was able to capitalize on it. And then in his last round, he played against KO. And he had said that was a very interesting matchup, because they were both trying to do basically the same thing, but the Helmsmiths outranged the KO for the first turn. So KO had to move in, and he did manage to kill off the boat. He 100 to 0'd the boat with blunderbusses again. I mean, Ren 3 is no joke against a 2-up save. But I think it came down to Kyle, that's his opponent, had like done a really good redeploy, which stopped him from getting like his last intercept token or something. But they ended in a perfect draw.
Yeah, I played against. This is the list I played against the TGX with the hits. Yeah, that boat is super hard to go through. It's so hard.
They are, yeah, for sure.
So well done to the G. You are average homie of the week. All this Hellsmith talk. I think you want to run Hellsmiths, but I won't. All right.
I'm sure you can change.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm under no illusions that he couldn't change.
My win rate is masked by illusion. All right. Now we're gonna switch gears, and we'll go to the portion that is hobby time.
Hobby time, excellent.
Hobby time. Victoria, make a clip of this sometime. All right. First up, you know what?
Oh, look at that! Oh, it's so gorgeous.
Green Orcs and ham.
I love it.
Love it. Do you paint all this week? Or is this
not that I am not that good. I did finish the 2 Mog Hunters with Hacken Crew on the right side of this. Also to note, the Hacken Crew on both those 2 Mog Hunters are magnetic and will come off. So I can run them as Mog Hunters or Mog Hunters with Hacken Crew. Now, the Mog Hunter with Hacken Crew on the left behind the Tusk Boss is not magnetic. He is glued together, so he can't change, but the other 2 can.
Nice. So. Which brings us to...
And this is the last of the Mog Hunter with Hacken Crew that I was able to finish painting yesterday.
Nice. 32 models. This is awesome.
So far this year, 32 models. I'm still aiming for 156. I think I'm a little ahead of the game. So I'm trying to build up a buffer for myself in case, things happen down the road.
100%.
Foot on the gas, my friend.
All gas, no brakes. Speaking of gas,
Oh yeah,
Oh boy.
these are my Therodons and Myrmidon, and oh, you can see a picture of my little men in the back there. That's sweet.
Yep.
And I got another box of Therodons that needs to be built still. So when they get built, I'll add them in. But with OBR around the corner, it's getting difficult for me to find the motivation to paint slaves at the moment.
They are.
Yeah, but also the motivation to run OBR is difficult too because he's got to wait for that book.
It is, yes.
Yep.
They are
They
pretty looking
are
models, though.
Pretty looking
Thanks.
models. 100% agree.
What red did you use for the loincloth there? That's a nice red.
It's Flesh Terror's red.
The greatest red.
Yep.
So versatile. All right. And then last but not least, I did not paint the model this week, but I sure did its base. So this is something I've had painted for a while. I painted actually for an event at Alpha Strike Gaming. Long may you reign.
Rip.
Rip. So this was originally painted a long time ago. But I started doing the bases for this army for no particular reason whatsoever.
Because you wanted to try out the UV resin.
That's right. And so yeah, that's what that actually is. The base there is Astro Granite, and then I let it dry for about 10-15 minutes, and I picked at it with a sculpting tool to drag the channels into it. And then I painted the channels. It's actually painted white and then ivory, and then it's Eldari Emerald on top of that, and then I put the UV on top of the Eldari Emerald. So it looks, it's not really well shown in the picture, but if you're close to it, because I've done gray, warm gray, and then ivory, and then pure white, it looks like pools as it goes through the thing because it's got the different textures of the color, or the different tones of the color. But yeah, so I'm working on basing an army. You can see some other parts of that army behind it, and we may or may not be seeing that on the table very soon. That is my hobby for the week. All right, that is it for hobby time. We're nearing the end of the show here, so any last things before we wrap this up?
I'm excited for OBR, so I've been trying to just get some bits and bobs painted so that I get back into the mindset of painting like bone and armor. I'm excited to try out the Army of Renown, the Lance of Os. I don't know. It's the Cavalry Army of Renown. And that will sort of, after 3 or 4 games of playing it, will determine whether I play OBR, because I don't think they're really top tier. I think that they took a big hit from the index. That's from an average player standpoint. I'm sure that there are good players out there that might think otherwise. And I just think that the builds are going to be very boring. It's going to revolve around triaxes and cohorts, the Tyrannic cohort, and the Bone Reapers, or the whatever those guys are, the Reapers. I think they're like arguably the best units in the game, or in the battle tome. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
He's being humble, I think. What are you globally as an OBR player?
As of yesterday, I think I was 10th globally.
Yeah, so he's saying average, but he enjoys the OBR. Yeah, that's right.
Well,
we're not worthy.
It's very, very early in the season still. That can change very quickly.
Yep, agreed. But I agree with you on the battle tome. I mean, I haven't read it completely. I've just kind of picked at it, looked at it online. I think it's going to be a primary army with occasional tricks, but not many tricks. And it's like, if something can take them off the primary, then it's going to be hurting units.
Yep.
Especially if something plays fair and doesn't rely on like deep striking. Like if it's I will just push up the board, then it's going to have real problems.
I guess I should have added the caveat that OBR have hands down the best faction terrain in the game now.
Oh my god.
It will make for certain armies to play completely differently into them. It's the reason why I'm putting my Slaves to Darkness Dark Oath on hold for a little while, because the entire benefit of playing that army is to bring models into your backfield, and the Bone Tithe, just the Nexus, just doesn't allow you to do that anymore. And they're not going to be able to run up the board and do what they do. They just get slaughtered. I mean, a stiff breeze kills them. So that's why they're going to be put on hold until I can sort of see how the meta responds to, you go to a tournament and see 18 Bone Raper players there. A full disclosure, though, at Torchlight, I was the only Bone Raper player. So, yeah.
Yep. Ninja Canuck says, I want to like the army, love the lore, love the models, hate the playstyle. I agree with you.
Yeah. I do as well.
Roman Legion-esque Bone Tithe people, awesome. Playstyle, yeah.
It's boring. It's really
it gets
boring.
The job done. It's honest work. Farming primary is honest work. For my kind of closing thing, I would say I will plug something for our most commenter here. That Asia Canuck has a podcast as well. So if you can't get enough of nerd talk, go check out the Prairie Warhost podcast. It's available basically on everything because he's better at technology than I am. So it's on Spotify, Podbean, whatever. It's everywhere. You search up Prairie Warhost podcast, and I think, don't quote me on this, but I've seen the chats. I think they're going to put out an OBR episode.
Nice.
We have an OBR player here who plays it like full time. He's played it for years. He's gone through the book and he's going to kind of lead the discussion on it. And we're going to have a lore section. The guy's going to talk lore out of the new book as well. And then they're going to wrap it up on that. But that will be coming out in the next couple weeks sometime from Prairie Warhost podcast. So definitely go check them a listen. And Ed, over to you.
I don't really have much for closing remarks. I believe there's a tournament this weekend on Sunday in Orangeville that Matt is attending. And I'm going to try and swing by and just snap some pictures of the tournament. So that way we have those for the next podcast.
Nice. And I'll try and take some pictures of my GT as well. All right. With that being said, we'll definitely call it a day here. And for those who are listening on Spotify or other means, thank you for listening. Thank you for following along. Feel free to share the channel. Hit all the buttons on the YouTube. Buttons are fun. Like, subscribe, all the normal stuff. That's what the cool kids say.
But if you don't press the like button, it'll run away.
It's true. Yeah. We won't come back for 4 weeks.
I can't do that.
But again, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.